Hello everyone! In today's video, let's follow the journey of a young man building a wooden house in the middle of a vast wilderness. How will he overcome the harsh environment and bring his vision to life? Stay tuned to find out! To begin this ambitious project, he sets his focus on one of the most essential steps, installing the foundation pillars that will support the entire structure. He brings out the wooden posts, thick, heavy, and treated to withstand the elements. Lifting each one with effort and care, he places them one by one into the holes, adjusting them carefully to make sure they stand perfectly vertical. This part of the process is slow and meticulous, requiring both strength and patience. Once each post is in place, he mixes cement by hand using water carried from a nearby supply, then pours it steadily around the base of each pillar. As the cement begins to set, he adds stones and gravel around the edges, not just for added stability, but also to help the pillars grip tightly to the earth. These wooden posts are more than just supports. They will bear the entire weight of the raised floor, standing as the main structural pillars in a wild, open landscape. Once the cement sets and the pillars stand firm, he begins leveling them to ensure they are all the same height. This step is crucial for creating a stable, even base for the floor above. With the pillars now standing tall and evenly trimmed, he moves on to the next vital phase, connecting them to create a sturdy framework for the floor. He brings out thick, treated wooden beams, each one heavy and cut to fit snugly between the posts. Carefully, he lifts each beam into place, aligning it horizontally across the tops of the pillars. He drills through the wood, then drives in long bolts and heavy-duty nails to fasten the beam securely. With the frame firmly in place, he turns his attention to laying down the wooden floorboards. One by one, he lifts the planks onto the frame, positioning them side by side across the beams. Each plank is carefully aligned and pushed tightly against the next, leaving no gaps in between. He secures each board to the frame beneath, making sure it lies flat and holds steady. As the planks go down, they begin to form a solid, continuous surface strong enough to walk on, and ready to support the rest of the house. The process is repetitive, but there's a quiet rhythm to it. Tap, tap, tap the boards lock into place, and the once open frame is gradually transformed into a sturdy wooden floor. Before moving on, he takes time to add a personal touch to the structure. He brings out a can of bright orange paint and begins coating the wooden beams that support the floor from underneath. With the floor now complete and elevated above the ground, he begins building a sturdy staircase to connect the earth below to the platform above. Carefully, he positions the stringers against the edge of the platform and secures them with bolts. Step by step, he adds the treads, fastening each one tightly into place. The staircase gradually takes shape, solid and well built, able to support the weight of anyone climbing up. Once finished, it stands as both a functional piece and a visual bridge between the ground and the rising structure. He then paints the surface of the floor and staircase with a warm, earthy tone. Each brushstroke adds both protection and beauty, highlighting the natural grain of the wood. Beneath the elevated floor, in the cool shaded space created by the raised platform, he decides to add a thoughtful and practical feature, a long wooden bench. He selects sturdy planks and begins crafting the bench along the inner edge, stretching it neatly from one side to the other. Each piece is carefully cut and securely fastened, forming a solid, low seat that blends naturally with the structure. This shaded area beneath the house becomes more than just empty space. It transforms into a peaceful resting spot. Here, protected from the sun and the wind, he can sit, relax, and regain energy between tasks. Once the bench is fully assembled, he takes a moment to finish it with care. He paints the wooden surface with the same warm tone used for the floor and stairs, giving it a clean, polished look while also protecting the wood from dust and moisture. To add both comfort and structure, he begins attaching horizontal wooden slats between the vertical support posts behind the bench. One by one, he lines up the planks and secures them tightly, creating a simple but effective backrest. Moving on to the walls, he begins by assembling the framework that will support them. Using sturdy timber, he constructs vertical and horizontal beams, shaping the outline of each wall panel with precision and care. Once the frame is secure, he starts attaching white wooden cladding panels, laying them horizontally across the structure. These panels aren't just flat boards, their outer surfaces are subtly curved, adding a soft, flowing texture to the appearance of the walls. As each panel is fitted into place, the house begins to gain character and warmth. The combination of clean white color and gentle curves gives the structure a modern yet inviting feel, making the walls feel alive rather than flat or rigid. It's a thoughtful design choice that blends both function and beauty. As he continues building the walls, he works with careful attention to detail. While placing the wooden panels, he deliberately leaves specific gaps within the wall frames, spaces that will later become the windows and the main doorway of the house. These openings are precisely measured and reinforced, ensuring that when the time comes, the windows and door can be installed seamlessly. By planning ahead in this way, he not only preserves the structural integrity of the walls, but also sets the foundation for light, air, and access elements that will bring life and function to the interior of the home. It's a subtle but important step, turning raw construction into thoughtful design. Little by little, the four walls of the house begin to take shape. With each panel installed and each frame secured, the structure grows more complete and enclosed. With the walls now fully framed and paneled, he moves on to installing the windows. Turning his attention to the two side walls, He brings out the pre-built wooden window shutters and carefully fits them into the open frames he had previously left in place. Each window is aligned with care, then secured firmly into the wall structure. The shutters are simple but well crafted, designed to swing open and close smoothly. Next comes one of the most defining elements of the house, the roof. He designs it with a classic pitch shape, two sloping sides that rise to meet at a central ridge, allowing rainwater to run off easily and giving the home a balanced, elegant silhouette. Once the structure is steady and symmetrical, he brings in large wooden boards and begins attaching them carefully across the frame. Each board is laid tightly side by side, securely fastened to shield the interior from sun, wind, and rain. To complete the roof, he adds a final protective and decorative layer green asphalt shingles with a subtle wave-like pattern. Carefully, he climbs onto the wooden rooftop and begins laying the shingles from the bottom edge upward, overlapping each row to ensure proper drainage and coverage. The textured surface of the shingles adds depth and character, while the green color blends harmoniously with the natural surroundings, bringing a soft, earthy contrast to the white walls below. To finish off the exterior, he carefully adds trim along the corners where the walls meet. These edge boards are measured and cut precisely to fit the vertical seams, then nailed securely in place to frame the structure neatly. The corner trim not only reinforces the joints between wall panels, but also adds a clean, finished look to the house. For the outer edge of the raised floor, he decides to build a railing to provide both safety and a finished aesthetic. Starting with the base trim already in place, he begins crafting individual railing sections, each made from vertical wooden balusters, evenly spaced and connected by horizontal support beams. Once a section is complete, he lifts it into position and carefully secures it to the edge of the platform. One by one, he repeats the process, working his way around the perimeter until the entire deck is surrounded by a sturdy wooden railing. Not only does this railing add protection to anyone walking on the raised floor, it also enhances the overall design, giving the home a warm, welcoming look while blending beautifully with the rest of the wood structure. To complete the staircase, he adds a simple yet functional handrail along one side. Using a long, smooth wooden beam, he carefully attaches it to the top of the staircase, securing it to sturdy vertical posts placed along the steps. Returning to the railing, he picks up the pace to complete the remaining sections. With the earlier parts already in place, he moves efficiently, assembling each new panel with practiced hands and securing them tightly to the edges of the platform. Now turning his attention to the entrance, he began crafting a wooden door for the main entrance. Using thick, durable boards, he assembled the door panel. Once complete, he carefully lifts the door and fits it into the frame, checking the alignment and spacing to ensure a smooth open and close motion. He marks the spots for the hinges, then begins preparing the frame to install them securely. Before mounting the door, he adds a touch of personal style, painting each side a different color. One side carries a warm, earthy tone that matches the interior's cozy feel, while the other is painted a subtle, natural shade that blends with the exterior walls. For the large front-facing window, he takes extra care in finishing the details. He begins trimming the edges, adding wooden molding around both the interior and exterior sides. On the outside, the trim frames the window cleanly against the wall, giving it a defined and polished look. Inside, the smooth edges create a neat transition between the wall panels and the window itself, adding a touch of refinement to the room. These finishing touches not only improve the aesthetics, but also help seal the window, keeping out dust and wind-blending function with craftsmanship. To add a visual accent to the structure, he paints the edges of the door and the trim along the house corners in a rich brown color. With a steady hand, he coats the wooden edges, carefully following the lines where the panels meet. He then installs a large glass pane into the front-facing window frame. With great care, he lifts the sheet of glass and gently slides it into place, securing it with wooden stops and sealant to ensure a tight, weatherproof fit. Once the glass is in, he takes a soft cloth and cleaning solution and begins wiping down all the window panes and glass doors throughout the house. Moving from one to the next, he clears away dust, fingerprints, and construction residue, revealing spotless, gleaming surfaces. To finish off the base of the structure, he adds a clean, refined touch to the edge of the platform. One by one, he attaches long wooden trim boards along the outer perimeter of the raised floor. These edge boards cover the exposed gaps beneath the platform, giving the structure a more complete and intentional appearance. In front of the main door, he begins constructing a small overhead structure to serve as a protective awning. Using sturdy wooden beams, he assembles a simple yet solid frame that extends outward from the front wall, supported by vertical posts at the edge. This small roof frame provides both shade and shelter for the entrance, offering protection from rain and direct sunlight. Though modest in size, it adds a welcoming touch, marking the threshold of the home and giving the front area a sense of depth and character. To complete the front awning, he follows the same careful process used for the main roof. He attaches large wooden boards across the top, covering the entire surface. He installs the same green asphalt shingles with wave-like patterns, overlapping them row by row to ensure proper water runoff. This consistency in materials and method ties the awning visually to the main roof, creating a seamless, cohesive look. With the final touches now in place, the house is at last complete. Every board, every beam, every detail from the raised platform to the shingled roof has come together to form a warm and welcoming home in the heart of the wilderness. Thank you for accompanying him on this journey. If you like, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next content. Goodbye and see you again.